from winning the race with only 3 wheels.
And Hamilton is winning the Grand Prix, but look at the state of that Mercedes car.
To an unbelievable comeback from P18 to end up...
The man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakhir Grand Prix.
These are the most impressive moments of every F1 driver. They'll be getting more and more impressive. And tell me if you agree with my top 3 at the end. Let's start with the new kid on the block, Jack Doohan. The Aussie found himself living the dream, or nightmare, depending on your perspective. He was thrown into the deep end of 2024, taking Esteban Ocon's seat at Alpine. Why, you ask?
Oh, there's another incident out there then, as 2 Alpines get into each other.
I mean, why not? See, coming into Abu Dhabi, he had just one job, simple. So, did he manage it? Well, in a race where his car went full Casper, Doohan crossed the line in 15th place. Not exactly a masterpiece, but hey, you survived your first F1 race without becoming a meme, so kudos to you, Jack. On the other hand, the next driver actually didn't have a bad debut either. When the Sarge finished P12 in his debut, people thought, finally, an American who does more than wave a flag. Oh, how wrong we were.
We're looking at 2 Williams right in the back. Oh, and that was Logan Sargent's.
That is the spin for Logan Sargent, so that brought out the yellow flag.
It's onto the grass like I thought. A real rough ride over the gravel.
But we all know that part, is that he actually managed to make history. Yep, you heard that right. Welcome to Zandvoort 2023. Here, somehow, Logan outqualified a 7-time world champion to reach Q3. For a moment, it looked like he might silence the doubters. However...
It's out for Logan Sargent, though! And Sargent finds the barriers on the slick tyres.
Bruh. Anyway, fast forward to the 2023 US Grand Prix. This time, Logan did something no American F1 driver had done since Michael Andretti in 1993. Score a point, and on home soil. Isn't that beautiful? Sure, he wasn't the GOAT, but on his best days, freedom would light his way. Just like Bottas. Right before 2019, Valtteri hit rock bottom. 2 years of playing second to Hamilton had drained him in every way possible, even starting to seriously consider retirement. But then, something changed. Instead of giving up, Bottas came back stronger, faster, and ready to prove. And in Australia, he would do just that.
Bottas gets away well. He's alongside Lewis Hamilton, and he's making good progress. So, Valtteri Bottas is going for the fastest lap once again, but when he sees the checkered flag, he knows that he's the #1 in Albert Park today. It's Valtteri Bottas who wins the Australian Grand Prix. It by a distance.
And the Finn didn't just win the race, he obliterated the competition. Starting second, he flew past Hamilton at the start and left the entire grid in his dust, finishing over 20 seconds ahead. Oh, and grabbing the fastest lap too, just for fun. That's why he had a message for his doubters.
To whom it may concern you.
Anyway, unfortunately for a lot of reasons, he's left without a seat for 2025. But what no one will ever take away from him are his traditions.
I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate.
At the same time, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to win.
Man, the Alpha Tauri is such an idiot.
So much overtaking. That was a car's width, but only just. And now into another one of the stadium sections. They've made contact, and Lawson stays ahead.
Yeah, you like drama. After Austin, where Alonso threatened to screw him over, and Mexico, where Liam casually flipped Perez off mid-race, Dr. Helmut thought, yep, this is exactly what we need. And just like that, he secured the Red Bull seat for 2025. But how did he even get here? Well, it all started at Zandvoort in 2023. Daniel Ricciardo crashed out during practice, breaking his hand, and Lawson got the call. Want to know how it went down? Let's hear it from the guy himself.
It was a very short conversation with Helmut, and it was basically, I knew that they were deciding on what to do, because when the crash happens and when I knew they were deciding on that, I went and found Helmut and I approached him, and he was mid-conversation with Franz, and he looked at me and said, "Are you ready?" And I said yes, and then he walked away. And that was basically pretty much the moment I knew I was driving.
Thrown into a wet, dry, wet chaos fest with no practice, Liam somehow finished 13th. No prep, insane weather, and while Checo and Tsunoda went gravel surfing...
And the virtual safety car is out, and off the road goes Sergio Perez in the monsoon conditions now.
The Kiwi kept it clean and brought the car home.
P13, great job. Great job, Lawson. Now bring the car home.
Oh, and speaking of drivers who couldn't keep it on track, you know who I'll be talking about next.
Oh, they're snaking off the road. Zhou Guanyu has gone into the Tech Pro.
The first Chinese driver on the grid, and the man who ended Sauber's scoring drought since 2023. Where? Qatar. In a race where tyre issues defined the outcome, is worth noting. Oh, and he won the driver of the day. 1 point for Sauber, 1 chili suit for Sainz. Spicy, right? Not even Drake would have bet on that. Anyway, some say this was his best drive, but for me, Bahrain 2022 tops it. Back then, people called him a pay driver without a chance, but Zhou proved them wrong, pulling off overtakes. None shown on the TV, but trust me, they happened. And with few laps left, he was P11, pushing hard when the magic came.
来了，最后一圈，来了，进入最后一圈，看一看佩雷斯现在关键，佩雷斯是关，防不防得住，其实问题已经不。
History in the making, not just for him, but for a nation. And you know who else has an entire nation backing him? Pilar's very own Franco Colapinto. Look, when Williams announced him, haters weren't happy, with Ralf Schumacher leading the queue, still salty because they didn't pick his nephew Mick. However, the Argentinian would make him eat their words. In Baku, Franco recovered from a crash to reach Q3. There, he stormed through, outqualified his teammates, and clinched P8, all in just his second race. That's right, 2 races to match what the freedom fighter managed in 2 years. Anyway, that was still just the appetizer. The real breakthrough came at Marina Bay. On one of the most physically demanding tracks, our guy drove amazingly. Even Checo couldn't resist showing some Latino love.
It's very difficult to find Colapinto.
And that start.
And the Singapore Grand Prix is underway. Good reaction time, good stop off the road in the background, down to the 90 meters.
That's when the haters ran out of excuses. Ralph, buddy, how's the humble pie tasting? Oliver Behrman. You know my guy went from high school hallways to pit lanes faster than most of us can hit send on a text. Insane, right? Just imagine being his dad. One day stressing for your son's maths test, and the next, praying Ollie doesn't introduce himself to a wall at 200 miles an hour. And guess what? That's exactly what happened in Jeddah. When Carlos Sainz's appendix waved the white flag, Ferrari handed the keys to a teenager. A rookie at Jeddah in a Ferrari. The doubts were loud. But Ollie? Oh, he didn't care. Qualifying 11th already turned heads, but Sunday? Mamma mia.
Back further down the field, Behrman got a pass on Sonoda.
Behrman, who is gaining on Zhou Guanyu at all times. Zhou Guanyu hasn't.
Oliver Behrman into turn number 1, moving up and claiming his place in the points.
Great drive so far from him, and I think he'll clear Hulkenberg pretty quickly as well. That's going to be important for him.
That's the pass he's been looking for.
Swoops past Nico Hulkenberg and up into 9th place.
Starting strong, he sold Tsunoda a veteran-level dummy and then made sharp moves on Zhou and Hulkenberg to secure P7.
And it's points on debut for Oliver Behrman, Ferrari's youngest ever Formula 1 driver.
With that, the Brit proved his worth, prompting Haas to lock him in for 2025. Unfortunately, someone who wasn't able to get a spot is Danny Rick. See, no disrespect to Oscar, but in his prime, this was the real Aussie.
Here comes Daniel Ricciardo on Nico Rosberg. Ricciardo takes the lead. Daniel Ricciardo wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Take Monaco 2018, you know, the race where Ricciardo led 50 laps with half an engine.
Losing power. Just keep it focused, mate. Keep it focused.
Losing power was what Daniel Ricciardo just said, a lock-up. Today in Monte Carlo, it's redemption day for Daniel Ricciardo. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
However, was that his best race? No way. In 2017, he delivered what I call the hat trick. See, coming to Baku, Red Bull wasn't even a top-tier car. On good days, it was decent. On bad days...
What happened here to Max Verstappen?
He just locked his right front.
Does that look like a brake failure to you, Martin?
Brakes failed.
Problems for Ricciardo, who spins round on turn 3.
Well, and on Saturdays, mid as hell. So yeah, starting 10th wasn't ideal, and dropping to 17th by lap 6 after a pit stop to clear debris, even less. But this is where Ricciardo made the impossible possible.
So Marcus Ericsson goes down into 15th, Carlos Sainz now 14th, and Daniel Ricciardo's cleared 2 cars. Wow, great control. And Daniel Ricciardo's in that fight, and Nico Hulkenberg as well. And Massa's getting swallowed up by the pack, and down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. What a move from the Australian. He's picked up a couple of places in one corner.
3 cars, 1 corner, 0 hesitation. From there, he rode every safety car and every red flag to finish P1.
For Daniel Ricciardo, the checkered flag is there. He wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Absolute world-class drive and a hell of a comeback. I think you can feel we're getting into the seriously impressive moments now. And speaking of comebacks, we need to talk about Alex Albon. Dropped by Red Bull at the end of 2020. Many assumed his career was over. However, in 2022, Williams offered him a lifeline that changed everything. Case in point, Australia. Saturday was a disaster. Disqualified from qualifying due to a fuel issue, Alex started P20, dead last. But then, the team made a bold and unexpected call.
Albon, don't pit until the very last moment.
And guess what? It worked. Albon drove 57 laps on 1 set of tyres. 57! Fans were literally flooding the pit lane for selfies when he finally boxed, and the gamble paid off. He finished P10, earning a single point, yeah, but a point that symbolizes the culmination of an extraordinary redemption arc. And you know what's fascinating about redemption arcs? They only happen after failure. Just look at K-Mag, especially after smashing doors.
He does not smash my door. Tell him that. If he doesn't want to come back, he better tells me now.
Is it just about now?
Yeah, he smashed my fucking office door.
In Brazil 22, Kevin stunned the world by securing his first ever pole position in a Haas during a chaotic sprint weekend. Sure, there was some luck with Russell's red flag and the rain, but the team nailed the strategy, hitting the track at the perfect time. For many, this was his peak. Do I agree? Well, if we don't count him being the first driver to be race banned, I'd say there's a bigger moment in his career. Enter Australia 2014. In his debut weekend, the Viking exceeded all expectations. Qualified 4th. Made moves.
By Lewis Hamilton's a good stop, but Magnussen has gone across the Ferrari. How did they not touch? Kevin Magnussen all over Lewis Hamilton here, going into the next left-hander. Magnussen has managed to get past him.
Lewis, we need to retire. We need to save the engine.
Downshifts, like, oh, he's up against the wall. He was scraping along the wall. He should get away with that one. Oh, he's broken suspension.
Oh dear, Valtteri Bottas. We wondered, was he going too quick? And the wheels have literally fallen off now. Listen, not content just to sit in 3rd and become the first Danish driver ever to finish on the podium. It's Kevin Magnussen, the first Danish driver to finish on a Formula 1 podium.
And finished 3rd, or, well, 2nd. FIA things. This made him the first Dane to achieve a podium, and fun fact, he wouldn't ever finish higher than 5th for the rest of his career. So, yeah, definitely his true peak. How would you react if you got dropped before the season even ended? Let me try my best. Fuck you. See, despite clinching a podium just 5 weeks before Abu Dhabi, many believed he had lost his touch. But I disagree. Need proof? First one, Hungary 2021. That race had it all. Bottas bowling cars.
And there's Lando Norris touched, and into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez, and that's the Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri getting caught up as the McLaren spun round with the Ferrari as well.
Hamilton restarting solo, and even Latifi scoring points. This wasn't just chaos anymore, it was a catastrophe. One that Esteban navigated by holding off Vettel for 65 laps. But then
Esteban Ocon is going to be a Grand Prix winner in Formula 1. Ocon wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Still, we both know there was something left. Enter Monaco 2023. Look, on a track tighter than my chances of reaching 1 million subscribers, the Frenchman stunned in qualifying, locking in P4 and upgrading to P3 after Leclerc's penalty. And the race, he faced it all. Pit stops.
Esteban Ocon is into the pits. He's hitting his mark on the medium tyres. We say goodbye to them. It's slow, and that could cost him. That could cost Esteban Ocon.
Tricky rain, and El Matador himself.
Sainz has begun now to put the pressure on Ocon.
Let's push him through his tyres.
Whoa, he's nearly into the back of him, and he damages the front wing. Carlos Sainz talking about pushing.
Against all odds, Ocon secured a podium.
Esteban Ocon with just his 3rd visit to a Formula 1 rostrum, under pressure throughout. And after all of that, the top 3 finished as they started.
And you know who else has been through something like that? Mr. Strulovic's career has had its ups and downs. Mostly downs, I've got to say. With 162 starts, he holds the record for the most races without a fastest lap. Still, it hasn't all been bad. In his rookie season, Stroll surprised everyone in Monza. On a wet track, he qualified 4th and started from the front row thanks to some grid penalties. At just 18, he became the youngest front row starter ever. Just look at him. Quite the contrast to the stoic guy we know today. today, but fate was cooking something even bigger. Enter Turkey 2020. I don't know if you can remember, but the grip was bad. So bad that the organizers used streetcars to improve it. And yet, this is where Lance shocked the world. In Q3, he delivered a stellar lap, securing his first pole position in F1. What a day, what a track, and what a moment. This made him the first Canadian to achieve it since Jacques Villeneuve in 1997. Although, of course, this didn't land him in a top team, just like... Let's face it, the Red Bull seat drama is just another setback for Yuki, despite showing consistent growth. Performance-wise, of course. Still, Yuki had his moments to shine. Take Suzuka 2024, for example. In front of his home crowd, he thrilled fans with daring overtakes like this.
Gasly ahead.
Hold on a minute. We're not going to see a move here, are we? What? Wonderful stuff.
And this.
And he's trying to use the extra grip. 27 lap old tyres. He's going to do it again. And the crowd absolutely love it. Tsunoda through at the S's for the second time in the Grand Prix.
Fighting his way up to 10th place, becoming then the first home hero to score points in Japan since Kobayashi back in 2012. And then there's Abu Dhabi 2021, where Yuki delivered the race of his life. Starting 8th, he overcame chaos involving Leclerc.
Leclerc going very, very wide, losing a place to Tsunoda, locking up going into turn 5.
Alonso.
Oh, is that Tsunoda?
In that particular instant, but
oh yeah, you're right.
Here we go again.
And finally, Bottas. It was a statement drive, proving he had what it takes to compete at the highest level. Something we never doubt about. Ah yes, a name that strikes fear into the hearts of midfield teams. Known for his consistent performances, clean racing, and of course, his podium curse. 227 starts, 0 champagne. Brutal. Nevertheless, stats don't tell the full story. In 2020, Nico became the ultimate super sub. In the British GP, he replaced Checo Perez. But the car didn't start. Nevertheless, just a week later...
As we see Hulkenberg cross the line, goes P3!
Wow, that's his best then. Can Max Verstappen get his car onto the second row? He can! And he splits Nico Hulkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo.
Maestro. However, nothing tops Eiffel. Called with 4 hours notice, Hulk took Mr. Strulovic's seat, started last, and climbed to P8 with some incredible moves, even earning Driver of the Day. Astonishing, huh? Finally, we can't forget Brazil 2010. As a rookie in a Williams, Nico stunned the paddock with a pole lap over a second faster than Sebastian Vettel in tricky conditions. Sure, the race didn't go as planned, but that Saturday, he showed the world what the Hulk was capable of. So from the Hulk's legendary lap to another kind of hero, Pedro Gasioso. See, this season, absolute perfection. Not a single penny wasted on crash damage. And not just that, he practically carried Alpine to a 6th place in the Constructors. Talk about aura. But his defining moment has to be at Monza 2020. Starting P10, Gasly seemed destined for a routine points finish. Then, chaos struck.
Magnussen going very slowly indeed and pulling over to the side of the track.
Oh, something broke.
A broken Haas triggered a safety car, and Hamilton's penalty threw the grid into chaos.
Lewis Hamilton has a 10-second stop-go penalty.
Suddenly, Pierre was in contention. On the restart, he overtook Mr. Strulovic and snatched the lead.
Pierre Gasly, there's Kimi Räikkönen on the inside. Lance Stroll has dropped back a couple of places. Hamilton then comes into the pits. Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri in their home race leads the Italian Grand Prix.
But it wasn't over. Scientist McLaren hounded him for 20 agonizing laps. Every corner, every straight, Gasly stayed strong under constant pressure. And as he came out of Pirabalocca on the final lap,
Toro Rosso, and they are going to win in 2020 as AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh my, oh my.
Oh, I like this one. Play some epic music. Now we're talking. It was June 24th, 2012, and Valencia was hosting Formula 1 for the final time. Expectations? Snooze fest, right? Well, not this time. Under the blazing Spanish sun, Fernando Alonso found himself starting P11 after missing Q3 by a mere 0.004 seconds. It felt hopeless before it even began. But this is F1, where reality often surpasses fiction.
Incredible battle here, Schumacher and Alonso. Alonso goes through on Michael Schumacher. Finally, he manages to get past Schumacher. Alonso moves past Di Resta.
and up into 4th place.
11 overtakes, each one more thrilling than the last. The standout being his overtake on Grosjean, leaving fans breathless.
Has got a super little exit behind Romain Grosjean as they make their way down towards turn 1 and 2. Vettel has managed to keep his lead. Grosjean just in front of Alonso, who pulls out alongside. He's going to try and go round the outside, and they did touch, but Alonso has squeezed his way through into 2nd place. One for the brave, that one, and Alonso the bravest of them.
Add to this a well-timed safety car and Sebastian Vettel's shocking DNF, and suddenly Alonso was leading the race.
Look at that, Vettel's going slowly.
And Vettel's got a major problem. Fernando Alonso leads. They are going absolutely wild in the stands here. Last night it was for Xavi Alonso, today it's for Fernando Alonso. Vettel could be out of this race. He is out of this race. Alonso, for his 19th victory in Formula One, in front of his adoring Spanish fans, can now see the checkered flag and comes home to win the Grand Prix of Europe.
By the time he crossed the line, marshals took a bow, flags soared high, and tears flowed freely. To this day, this race remains immortalized in the hearts of fans worldwide, a testament that perseverance always finds its reward. Just like the next one, the one I promised you at the very start. Imagine being shoved to the back of the grid on the first lap. Most drivers would give up, but not Checo Perez.
Got there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc, and there's 3 cars gone off at turn 4.
Keep going, Checo, keep going.
He went on a rampage, overtaking car after car.
Perez, again, he got past Lando Norris on the last lap, fancies Alex Albon on this particular lap. You wouldn't think there's much space there, but Perez manages to squeeze up. He's going to the end on those hard tyres. He's going to try and get past his teammate if he can. Lock up there by Lance Stroll, and that will certainly help Sergio Perez gets past. Here comes Sergio Perez on Esteban Ocon. He overtook his teammates on the last lap. He's got DRS to help him breeze past Esteban Ocon here.
By lap 56, he was in P3, a position nobody could have predicted. And then, pink fluke.
Oh, Jack, don't get out there. Safety car's been deployed.
Yeah, they have to. I can't see a gap.
With a safety car deployed, Mercedes tried a double stack. Spoiler, it was a disaster.
Even more confusion for a crew that are normally very,
they're not happy
adept.
with the left front. They're not happy with it with his left front.
And this is costing Bottas. His brakes are on fire now as well. They had the wrong compound of tyre on, and that's why they couldn't send him out again. But now those brakes are overheating. He has lost track position to Sergio Perez.
Suddenly, Perez was leading, and then on lap 87,
the man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakir Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, wow, what a race!
This wasn't just a win, it saved his career. After 190 races and 50 years since a Mexican victory, Perez forced Red Bull to cool. Fucking legendary. Oh, and talking about legends, maybe you know Sir Lewis for being in this sport so long, or simply for being a legend.
That is the best move of the lot. Look at the state of that Mercedes car. 7-time champion of the world.
With moments like this.
You can see he's right up behind the rear wing now. It's a lot of work for Hamilton to keep this car pointing in the straight line. On the run down the hangar straight then towards Stowe. This is where Mansell passed Piquet, and now Hamilton has gone past Kovalainen in an equally memorable pass up the inside into Stowe, and now...
Or one of the times I love the most, when he won a Formula One Grand Prix on just 3 wheels.
That is Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton is winning the Grand Prix. Hamilton's tyre's gone, Verstappen's just going through Woodcote. This is now Lewis Hamilton praying that the checkered flag comes, as down the hangar straight comes Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen just going, who knows how this race is going to end. Through the Vale chicane, look how difficult it was to stop. But for Lewis Hamilton, the checkered flag will come in the nick of time. For the most wins at home, it's Lewis Hamilton who takes the race.
But as incredible as these moments are, for me, nothing tops the weekend in Brazil 2021. See, it all started perfectly. On Friday, he stormed to pole, half a second ahead of his rival. It was the dream setup, but then disaster struck.
Lewis Hamilton has been disqualified from qualifying for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Verstappen is fined €50,000.
Think about it, 4 races left. Final sprint weekend, over a month without a win, and just when he gets it right, it's ripped away. So yeah, for the sprint, Hamilton started in P20, but you know, when the visor goes down, the man disappears, and the animal takes over.
Giovinazzi already, Hamilton has made up 4 places. places. Here goes Hamilton on Sonoda. This is a battle for 13th place. Hamilton's made it. I'm watching Hamilton on the main straight with DRS. I think into turn one, Lewis Hamilton has got past Fernando Alonso. That, Martin, is a crucial move for him. And he's going to try and make that lunge, and he does make that lunge down the inside. Lewis Hamilton, that is the best move of the lot.
In 24 laps, he climbed to P5. Simply unreal. But the joy didn't last. An engine change penalty pushed him to P10, undoing much of his hard work and leaving fans heartbroken. But you're forgetting one thing. This is Interlagos, a track where his idol Ayrton Senna once inspired millions, redefining the word miracle. So, as the lights went out on Sunday, the goal was clear. Nothing less than victory.
Gaining in the slipstream of Carlos Sainz, pulls over to the inside. Sainz isn't going to fight that one.
And there's Hamilton, but trying to go down the outside. Is he going to sweep through? Can he keep it on the road? He can, he's done it.
Then, in the race's defining moment, Max forced him wide, a move that's still talked about today.
Previous lap, and here goes Lewis Hamilton. He was last at the start of the sprint. He's trying to take the lead from Verstappen, but he is forced wide by Verstappen, and Verstappen himself has to go off the track.
But just on the next attempt,
down to turn 4.
I said, is it third time lucky? Hamilton pulls ahead of Verstappen. Before they get to the corner, the crowd go absolutely wild.
Unstoppable. Now from one astonishing drive to another, let's talk about a rising star who turned a soaking wet Spa into his own Hollywood script. Nikita, just kidding, it was George Russell. Picture this, rain's so heavy you can't see 5 feet ahead. Everyone else looks like they're skating on ice.
Yes, it did. That's Lando Norris. A rouge and up to a Radion. Lando Norris has had a big off.
And George, he pulls off this lap in a Williams.
Could be on for pole position here in Spa for the first in his career in a Williams. Get to the line and we'll see what happens after that. Across the line goes George Russell. It's provisional pole for the Williams at George Russell.
Yep, the F1 equivalent of a shopping trolley. Provisional pole ahead of Hamilton in a Mercedes. How is this even real? Sure, Max snatched it seconds later.
It's going to come up quickly. Is it going to come up quickly enough for pole? Yes, it is. Verstappen denies George Russell. It is Red Bull on pole. You can hear.
George's lap was still the headline. Then race day came, and the rain wasn't just bad, it was biblical. Noah's Ark kind of rain. It was like the sky took a look at Spa and said, nah, we're done here. The grid froze, the racing stopped, and boom, just like that, Mr. Saturday bagged his first ever podium. But speaking of impossible feats, let's talk about another unforgettable drive. Enter Carlos Sainz. The smooth operator wins races now, sure, but 2019 Brazil, that was different gravy. He started in last place, where you think he'd need glasses just to see the leaders. However, the well-known drama of Interlagos seemed to work in his favor as he carved through the field.
Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez getting very, very close through Decido de Largo, and Sainz is now up to 15th from the back of the grid, and he's really getting quite racy. Ricciardo down the inside into Decido de Largo. Oh, he locks up. Magnussen spins round as they make contact. Leclerc made it very tough earlier for the. Oh no, he's got a puncture. They made contact, and Charles Leclerc's got a puncture caused by contact with his teammate Sebastian Vettel. And Vettel's got problems too.
Crashes, safety cars, Ferraris acting like bowling pins, amazing overtakes, etc. Crossing the line in P4, everyone was hyped. And then, plot twist, Lewis Hamilton got penalised. Boom! Carlos moved to P3. This marked McLaren's first podium in 5 years and Sainz's first ever in F1. Who doesn't love a first podium story? What's more surprising? A tweet still in headlines or a rookie still in the show? See, Oscar Piastri's tweet might have broken the internet, but his Baku win shattered expectations. Starting second, he stuck to Charles Leclerc's tail like a predator stalking its prey until he struck.
Here's the chance for Oscar Piastri. How brave is he feeling on the brakes? It's a dive bomb move. It's a change of lead. Extraordinary stuff from the Australian. Charles Leclerc fights back, but he can't take it back.
The Aussie timed his move perfectly, slamming the brakes late and never looking back. But here's the thing, holding P1 is way harder than taking it. Piastri defended like a pro.
But Charles Leclerc has something to say about it. The door was closed in Charles Leclerc's face. That's the closest he's been since he lost the lead. Piastri on the defensive. Wonderful battling for the win.
Pulling off move after move to keep Leclerc at bay until the Ferrari's tyres finally gave out, landing him the win.
The Oscar goes to the top step step of the podium. Oscar Piastri wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Papaya fans were over the moon.
It was good. We finished second. I've now missed both of Oscar's wins.
But trust me, the next fans have even more to celebrate. Il Predestinato Charles Leclerc is no stranger to unforgettable performances. From Spa 2019...
First time ever, Charles Leclerc wins a Formula One Grand Prix!
...to Monaco 2024.
And for the first time in 93 years, this fabled race is won by one of their own. Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix to achieve his dream.
His highlights are pure gold, just as much as the bad ones, if you know what I mean.
Charles Leclerc has gone straight on.
And now it's just going to skate straight into the barriers.
However, his victory at Monza in 2019 was a legendary moment for Ferrari. Starting from pole, Leclerc faced immense pressure from both Mercedes throughout the race. Lap after lap, he defended with precision.
Hamilton now pulls out to have a go at Leclerc. Leclerc stays ahead by about a car length and a half. This is brilliant racing.
Even forcing Hamilton off the track and receiving a warning flag.
He's going for it again, Lewis Hamilton. Got a great exit out of the chicane. Round the curve, a grande they go. Is it a grande move from Lewis Hamilton? Hamilton goes onto the gravel and has to take to the escape road. And you can hear the cheers from Monza all the way back to Stevenage. The Ferrari fans loved it. He has been shown the black and white flag.
Yet the young Monegasque remained unshaken. As the race climaxed, Bottas launched a late charge, but fell short.
Will Valtteri Bottas be able to go for it into this chicane? No. But what he needs now is to avoid blocking up in the way that he did. He just needed a good exit out of that chicane, and then the chance was there.
This composure secured Ferrari's first Monza win since 2010.
Charles Leclerc has coped brilliantly. He won in Spa. He wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is the winner of the 2019 Italian Grand Prix.
The Tifosi went wild as Leclerc crossed the finish line, claiming his second career victory and consolidating his status as a future star. And speaking of first wins, up next is someone who finally earned his recently. Who doesn't love a good fight on track?
Bottas switcheroo at the hairpin. Now it's wheel to wheel with Hamilton. No team orders at Mercedes. As towards the Mercedes-Benz grandstand they go. Hamilton has the lead still.
Turns out the drivers don't, at least not when they can dominate instead. Take Lando as an example. Give him an outstanding car and he will shine. Forget Austria 20, Mexico 23, or Zandvoort 24. Today, we're flying to Singapore. As the lights went out, he executed the most critical and unpredictable step of every weekend perfectly.
And the Singapore Grand Prix is underway. Good reaction time for Lando Norris, who will hold the lead down to the 90 meters to turn number one. Good stop.
The race could have ended there, literally, except for a couple of close calls with the Wolves.
Here we go, key moment on board with Lando Norris. This could have changed the outcome of our winner today. This was back on lap 29. Lock up, and he brushes the barrier. That was so close to the end of his Grand Prix.
Sneaking past Norris. Oh, did he tap the wall? Was that a Russell moment? Remember, Norris did this on the final. Oh, my word.
What is going on?
And my boy Danny Rick in his fastest lap.
Daniel Ricciardo is on a flying lap. He's about to take the fastest lap away from Lando Norris.
There is the fastest lap. It's gone to another driver.
Anyway, by the time the checkered flag dropped, Lando had built a 20-second gap over Max.
Lando Norris can stop hearing about his starts and start enjoying his finishes. For the third time in Formula One, Lando Norris takes the checkered flag. A dominant drive complete.
Surely one of those races he'll never forget. And speaking about dominance, I know a guy who's been the definition of said word. Shit, I'm out of epic music. Guess I'll have to add the drama myself.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity, this is everything you ever wanted. One moment you capture, just let it slip.
I know, that's Eminem, but it feels exactly written for Max Verstappen's Brazil 2024 performance. Look, we've already seen him deliver incredible moments. Spain 2016.
The sun is out, the smiles will be out at 18 years and 227 days old.
Brazil 2016.
Oh, Max Verstappen, can he keep it out of the barriers? Just How has he managed to keep that away from the Armco?
Or even Abu Dhabi 2021.
And into turn 5 is Verstappen, far enough back, he's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees him coming. Here comes Lewis Hamilton though, down the back straight. He's got a slipstream. He almost touches Verstappen. They almost make contact. Red Bull will be delighted. They have shared a brilliant championship battle, but the championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch.
All unforgettable. But that November 3rd, 2024 was different. It all started in qualifying when Mr. Strulovic crashed in Q2.
Stroll found the wall, the third car to find the barrier today.
And the FIA said, finish all your laps, except you.
Unbelievable. I mean, the car goes into the wall, broken, it's clearly destroyed, but they wait 30-40 seconds so everyone else can just complete their lap times. And of course, the ones behind cannot even do a lap. I can't get my head around it.
As a result, he qualified P12, had a penalty for engine change, and he was forced to start from 17th. So imagine this. Rivals for the Constructors' title ahead. His title challenger on pole. The weather, a storm, the drivers all against him. But here's the lesson. Never underestimate Max Verstappen. As the lights went out under heavy rain, Lando lost the lead, as usual, and Max gained 6 positions in 1 lap.
Lewis Hamilton fighting his way through and taking 10th place, the man on the charge.
By lap 12, he was P6, carving through the field. Then on lap 32, Franco crashed. Bringing out a red flag. During the stoppage, Verstappen, Ocon and Gasly changed tyres, gaining an edge. When the race restarted, he overtook Ocon, took the lead and began pulling away.
It's a big opportunity for George Russell, but a better one for Max Verstappen, who finds himself taking the lead. Verstappen goes from 17th on the grid to the lead in Brazil.
Building a 19-second gap that no one could touch. By the time the checkered flag waved, he had secured his 8th win of the season.
Max Verstappen wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Proving that self-belief can make the impossible possible. And before you go, real quick, what did you think of this video? Seriously, I want to know. Leave a comment and tell me. Oh, and Sargent fans, fun fact, there's a driver out there who's somehow more hopeless than your guy. Don't believe me? Watch this. Anyway, you're a legend for sticking till the end. And as always, thank you for watching.